Hello, welcome to Australia, welcome to Australian Book Travels, and welcome to this week's exciting book recommendation and unboxing. We only have one book recommendation today because we have an unboxing. So before we get into it, I'd like to wonder how you are. I wonder how you are since our last video, whether that be Saturday's video or last Monday's book recommendation. I hope you've all been well and perhaps snuck in a few pages of your book or two. I have been reading as much as I can, but because it's cold and it's been quite cloudy and foggy, particularly in the mornings, so I just snuggle up by the fire and read when I'm not editing, or I'm not filming much at the moment, so I'm just doing a lot of editing of the videos where we have travelled over the past few weeks. So I hope you're all well, and I hope you're eating well and enjoying the summer in the Northern Hemisphere and the winter here in the Southern Hemisphere. Okay, let's get into it. No more chit chat. The first book I would like to, or the only book today that I'd like to show you and recommend to you, is the Reverend Richard Cole's Murder Before Evensong. This is a hardcover. It is his first novel in this series. He has written other books, but this is the first novel in this series. It's a Canon Clement mystery. It's a hardcover. And I will show you, just before we get into the story, I would like to show you, this is absolutely beautiful, this book. The protagonist, the Canon Clement, has dachshunds. And so these are the end papers for the book. Absolutely beautiful. And he has two, I think a male and a female. So they have the red and the blue jumpers on. And on the actual cover is a little spots of blood with footprints and the little dachshund. I hope you can see that. And they shine as well. It's sort of that, what is that? Not gold, but a red sort of inlay, isn't it? It's what do they call that? I keep forgetting what that's called. It's like I'll remember in a minute. But it shines. So it's absolutely beautiful, and the spine is written the same. Absolutely gorgeous. So this book I saw, it was written a few years ago, and I saw it in a large bookshop here in Australia, and in hardcover, and it was either $50 or $60. And at the time I had purchased other books, so I thought I really couldn't justify paying that much for a book where I had just purchased a whole heap of books and an author I didn't know. So I left it. And strange as it was, I kept thinking about this book. I thought, I really want to read it, but I just can't justify paying that much money. And I could not find it in a paperback either. So in this strange sequence of events, I found myself months and months later in another bookshop with a discounted section, and it was either $12 or $15, and I snapped it up. Of course I did. You have to do these things. It sat on my to-be-read pile for quite some time. I probably bought it early last year, perhaps somewhere early to mid last year, and it sat on my to-be-read pile. A few weeks ago, I decided to read it, and I love it. I cannot wait to purchase. There's two more. One of them was written a year or so ago, and then their latest one, the third in the series, was released perhaps a month ago. I cannot wait to buy the other two. Now, what I do want to do is wait so that I can buy them in the hardcover. So it may be a little bit of a wait and a fossick around to see if I can buy them at a discounted rate in the hardcover. because even though I love the book, at the moment, I just can't justify paying that much for a crime fiction book, because there are so many other books that I want to buy and have bought. We have to be careful, don't we? She says, as she buys many books. But anyway, this is about Canon Clement in a village in charge of a beautiful village church. And of course, there is a murder. It is the story, but it's not the main story. There is a lot that goes on around this in this village. Richard Coles writes beautifully. Now, I'll just explain, this is sort of, and I know that's not a very good way to explain, but it's sort of a cross between Richard Osman's Retirement Village Murders and Midsummer Murders, and perhaps like a more serious, what I consider more serious. It even has a tinge or a hint of our Australian author Amanda Hampson's Tea Ladies, and crossed with a more serious set of novels, so perhaps something like P.D. James or something like that, or even my beloved Golden Age crime classics like Freeman Wills Crofts. So it has that element of wit and cosy murder mystery, but there's a seriousness to it too, and there's a more depth to it. Richard Coles explains some of the Anglican idiosyncrasies and the culture within the church, and that's interesting. I'm not religious, but I certainly found that interesting. It didn't bore me in the least, and it piqued my interest even further. But he writes really well. I really enjoyed it. I'm not going to tell you the story. Suffice to say that his dachshunds find themselves in a pool of blood, but I don't want to tell you the story. I think if you're interested in the Richard Osmans, the Amanda Hampsons, the Midsummer Murders, P.D. James, I think you'll find this really not only entertaining but interesting. It has that great element of intrigue, but it is also well written. It is easy to read, but it's not necessarily simply written. I really enjoyed it. I cannot wait to purchase the next two in the series. This will definitely be a series on my bookshelf for sure. And the detail that has gone into the covers, I think, shows how much this is treasured by the author and the publisher. I'm very, very impressed, and I recommend it. Now, this is an unboxing now, and I just want to explain a little to you. I want to explain so that you understand why this has happened. I am a first-generation Australian. My parents came out to Australia from England just after the war. So I have been brought up in an English culture, although my mother was very interested in the Indigenous culture here in Australia. So I brought up to respect and be interested in the Indigenous culture and the flora and fauna. But really, the real crux of my upbringing was English. And I spent time as a young child and as a teenager in England, holidaying for extended periods of time in England. Now, that has obviously, I have an affinity with England. Most of my relatives were in England, apart from my siblings here in Australia. One of my siblings was born in England. And we had the typical Sunday roasts with the family. and all of the sayings and the nuances of, well, my mum was a Londoner and Dad was from Billericay in Essex. So I had all those sayings and some of the Cockney slang as well. So I have an affinity with England, and my partner is English. He was born in England. So it's just really England, and we're here in Australia, loving the lifestyle, but just having that connection with England. So I often find myself nowadays, especially with the technology, scrolling through English programs or English, on Facebook, some English groups of interest. And one of those is I may get on the internet and look at, as you know, I look at bookshops. And some time ago on YouTube, particularly, I think it was the first time I found Sherlock Pages. So I found, that's exactly what happened. I found Sherlock Pages, which is a new bookshop. I think they're about 8 or 9 months old. A new bookshop by a young couple called by the name of Luke and Agathe in Frome, Somerset, England. Now, in the past, I very much support independent bookshops, and particularly here in Australia. I have connected with a couple of bookshops in England, but it has been really perhaps cost prohibitive to send the occasional book out here. And sometimes those books we've been able to get here in Australia with obviously a cost involved, but obviously they're a bit more expensive because the bookshops have had to freight them out here. So I have obviously supported the independent bookshops here in Australia, but have kept my eye on bookshops in England because they do have some absolutely exquisite books. Now, Sherlock Pages, I felt a connection with for a number of reasons. One is they're English. Secondly, they were starting their bookshop at a similar time to me when I was starting this channel. And I really felt for their passion and their love of, and their concern with the environment. Now, Sherlock Pages have a really good array of books, but they are mainly concerned with nature history, nature memoirs, a few classics, art history, architecture, churches. So there's quite an array, but the only thing that they don't have for me, which is, as you know, is my passion, that is the crime fiction, or certainly the Golden Age crime fiction books. So I will continue to buy from my bookshops here in Australia, but I feel that these books that are online at Sherlock Pages are definitely. Well, look, they had 1,000 books online, and I scrolled through the first few pages, and I think I got to the first 180. I could not make up my mind. There were so many beautiful books, I couldn't make up my mind what to buy. I bought these 8. I think I bought 8 or 7. I had to really restrict myself at that. Just stunning books. So I really feel that the future is going to be buying a connection with Sherlock Pages and buying a lot of their books, especially the nature memoirs and the books on sustainability and the environment, and perhaps some of their art and history books, because they are exquisite, and I have that affinity, that connection with England. So of course I am also interested in English history and English art, particularly the Tudors. I've got a bit of a thing about that. But anyway, let's go on. So what happened was, when I asked Luke the price of postage, because of course in the past that has been prohibitive, Luke said, look, if I buy so many and I put them in a box, there is a standard post. And when I scrolled through to order the books, I realised they were cheaper than the average book here in Australia. So perhaps where some of their paperbacks, and this is very loose and general, but where they may sell their books for about 20 Australian dollars, here they may be 32, thereabouts. Depending on the genre, depending on even between genres, it varies. Sometimes we can buy a paperback here in my Golden Age Classics for $25 or $22, right up to $35. But these were all round about 20 Australian dollars. Some of them, I think there was one or two a little bit cheaper. They may have been the equivalent of $16 or $14. So by the time I bought a box of books, the freight was around about $40. And so it landed up that the books were either equal to or cheaper than books that I can get here. So that is why I have started buying from Sherlock Pages. Because of the beauty of their books, because of the passion that they have for their bookshop and for the topics that they sell in the bookshop, and also because the freight they have worked out to be a really good, eventually it's a really good price all up. So having said that, I just wanted to explain all of that as to why I started buying from Sherlock Pages. The bookshop itself looks absolutely stunning. It's only little, but it just looks beautiful. And they're really artistic and really sensitive couple, as most people who enjoy art and nature are. Just all up, they're a bookshop I want to support because I think they're doing a really good job. So I undid the other day, and the other thing I must say too before we begin, I ordered these probably 10 days ago, perhaps, thereabouts, and this arrived quite a few days ago. I think they arrived last Thursday. When I uploaded the thank you video, that afternoon I went out to the post office and they'd already arrived. So that was impressive also. Anyway, on Friday I decided to open the box because I thought if I video this and I'm undoing it, it just wastes time. And I didn't look at all the books, but I have to admit I did peek. I'm going to admit it. This corner, I just opened up, but I couldn't see anything. See, if you open it up, I couldn't see anything. So I thought, well, it's not really cheating. Because I wanted it to be as much of a surprise for me as for you. But I did cheat a little bit. I couldn't see anything. Okay, this is the box. Let's have a look. This is it. This is our box of books. So nicely packed. I have to get my spectacles on. Okay, I'll just quickly go through these and see if any of you are interested. I'm so excited. I have been wanting this for a little while actually. I haven't seen it here in Australia. I have seen it online, and being the food freak that I am, I love food, and growing it, preparing it and cooking it. So this is The Land Where Lemons Grow, The Story of Italy and Its Citrus Fruit by Helena Attlee. So this is, let me have a look. Oh, this is so exciting. It has an index and a selected reading, citrus chronology. It even has citrus chronology, and places to visit. Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh, and it has notes. Okay, I just want to see the actual pages for the books. So 208 pages all up to read. It has recipes throughout it, but it is the history of the story of citrus fruit in Italy. I cannot wait. This is now Penguin, and as I say, yes, 208 paperback, and I think that was, I think that may have been like the equivalent of $20, which is just fantastic. So that's that one. All right, let's do Ronald Blythe. Aikenfield. Oh, now they're all paperbacks because it makes it a little bit cheaper to, it makes it not as heavy to send across, so it makes the post cheaper. So I did choose all paperbacks this time, but that may change in the future. Now this is another Penguin modern classic. This is Ronald Blythe's perceptive and vivid evocation of the Suffolk he has known since childhood, which became an instant classic. It reverberates with the voices of the village inhabitants, from the reminiscences of survivors of the Great War to the concerns of a younger generation of farm workers, as well as the personal recollections of, among others, the local school teacher, doctor, blacksmith, saddler and district nurse. I cannot wait to read that. It's the best portrait of modern rural life in England, subtle and compassionate, as described by Roger Deakin, BBC Wildlife magazine. So I can't wait for that. Now that's, as I say, it's a Penguin classic. Oh, what's that? Oh, Penguin classic, and it is 285 pages. But look how tiny the print is. Oh my goodness. I think that's going to be quite a read. So the print on, well, there's the print on the land where lemons grow, and there's the print on Aikenfield. So that will be quite a read, won't it? Okay, so that's those two. So exciting. Oh, one of my favourite nature writers, John Lewis Stemple. Oh, I have a couple of his already. This is the private life of an English field, Meadowland. This is, in exquisite prose, John Lewis Stemple records the passing seasons in an ancient meadow on his farm. His unique and intimate account of the birth, life and death of the flora and fauna, from the pair of ravens who have lived there longer than he has to the minutiae underfoot. I cannot wait. Oh, I can't wait to read. I don't know. I'm not going to be able to read them all at once, am I? I'm just going to have to lock myself away and read this whole load of books. Hang on. So let me have a look. Oh, he gives you a list of flora and fauna. And of course there is the bibliography and the library he has there. Now this is 275 pages. And that's a year in the life of. So I cannot wait. Oh, that's so exciting. I'm very excited. Okay, let's move on. The Offing. Now, I haven't heard or seen this one, and I'm very interested. This is by Benjamin Myers. And, oh, actually, I didn't tell you. Stemple this is Black Swan publication. Yes, Black Swan publication. This one is, who are you? Oh, you are, let me have a look. Oh, sorry everyone. I do like to give you these details. This is Bloomsbury Publishing. Published in, this one, oh, it was first published in 2019 and this edition in 2020. I didn't give you the others either, did I? Meadowland is Penguin, as we said, and it's 2015. This is 2015. Blythe, oh, this one's older, but I think this edition is more recent. But I think originally this was in the 60s. First published, oh, come on, Penguin, tell me, where are you? 69. It was first published in 69. And this one was published in 2005. The land where the lemons grow, this one is 2015. Did I say that already? I don't know. Anyway, so let's get on. The offing. Yes, so this is, where are we? This is 258 pages, and this is: one summer following the Second World War, Robert Appleyard sets out on foot from his Durham village. 16 and the son of a coal miner, he makes his way across the northern countryside until he reaches the former smuggling village of Robin Hood's Bay. There he meets Dulcie, an eccentric, worldly, older woman who lives in a ramshackle cottage facing out to sea, and she introduces him to the pleasures of rich food, my favourite, sea swimming, another favourite, sunburn, not so favourite, and poetry, yes. The two come from different worlds, yet as the summer months pass, they form an unlikely friendship that will profoundly alter their lives. I cannot wait. This sounds really good. I'm very excited. I really like this. I'm really loving the covers on these books. They're just stunning. But this one actually has a raised, I don't know if you can see that, on the title there, it has some, almost like a braille. But it's not. But it's that feeling, just that bumpy feeling. So that's beautiful. Can't wait. I'm so excited, everyone. Oh, this is another one. Melissa Harrison, All Among the Barley. Now, this is one of the... Okay, it just says here, the fields were eternal, our life the only way of things, and I would do whatever was required of me to protect it. Now, let's see if they... Okay, the autumn of 1933 is the most beautiful Eddie Mather can remember, although the Great War still casts a shadow over the cornfields of her beloved home, Wych Farm. When charismatic, outspoken Constance Fitz-Allen arrives from London to write about fading rural traditions, she takes an interest in 14-year-old Eddie, showing her a kindness she has never known before. But the older woman isn't quite what she seems. As harvest time approaches and pressures mount on the whole community, Eddie must find a way to trust her instincts and save herself from disaster. That sounds interesting, doesn't it? Melissa Harrison has also written At Hawthorne Time. So I haven't read that. And Clay, she's also written. So this is also another Bloomsbury, and this edition was published in 2019, but it was first published in 2018. And it has acknowledgements and historical notes, 327 pages. I can't wait. I've just got so many here that are gorgeous. Aren't they just so beautiful? Anyway, another one. Okay, so we've got two to go. Oh, that's my list from Sherlock Pages there. Yeah. They're in Catherine Hill. If you are in England, or if you're visiting England, they are at number 2 Catherine Hill, Frome, Somerset. So have a go in there and have a good look, and hopefully buy some books. Okay, this is one that I have wanted for a few years. This is The Return of Nature to a British Farm. This is Wilding. Now, this is a farm in England who found that their traditional farming methods were not productive. In fact, I think their finances were in the red. So they decided to really have a really good think about older styles of farming, much older styles, and without fertilizer and without produced fertilizer, and have turned the farm around. I think they've done it now for about 10 or so years. They have reintroduced all the wildlife and then use that almost in like a permaculture method, so that the animals produce manure and they nibble all of the weeds and things, and trees self-seed and all of that sort of thing. And I think they have also, with some water holes or perhaps some rivers through their property. It is a large property. And they have remanaged the waterways. Now, this is Knepp, the Knepp estate, K-N-E-P-P, if you are interested. We became interested in this through YouTube. We saw a documentary on the estate, about the estate, and realised that they had written this book. Again, I haven't seen it here in Australia. It may be, but I haven't seen it. And so once I saw it on the Sherlock Pages website, I grabbed it. I really cannot wait to read this. There are photos throughout. I don't know if you can see that. It's there's some beautiful photos. Oh, look at that. And I think they should have, if they've shown photos there. That's the wildlife and some of their meat production. And they have found that this is far more lucrative way of farming rather than the traditional, post-industrial way of farming. I cannot wait to read that, and I will be giving you a review on that. It's exciting. And it is a real farm, a real estate. So if you don't buy the book, it's probably better that you buy the book because you'll get more intimate details. But there is a documentary on it. Very exciting. And we use permaculture methods here on our property as much as we can. And we're intending on increasing that to increase the wildlife. And we have, just even in the last 10 years, the amount of bird life and wildlife here, it has increased 100-fold, absolutely 100-fold. It's amazing. Anyway, that is one that I recommend. Oh, this is one I'm very excited about. Oh my goodness. I love art, and I do love Vincent, and I love the story of Vincent van Gogh. This is Lust for Life, the story of Vincent van Gogh by Irving Stone. Now, I know Sherlock Pages have, this month in June, they are reading this for the book club. And I know Luke from Sherlock Pages has a podcast about it. Oh, and also I think he has like a mini documentary where he travelled to France in the footsteps of Vincent van Gogh. So, and I think it's 4-part. We've been watching it. Well, we did watch it. Actually, I might watch that again. That would be interesting. So this is a student, a teacher, a clerk, and a preacher. At the age of 27, Vincent became an artist and changed the world forever. As a painter, Vincent van Gogh secured his place in history as one of the most iconic artists to have ever lived. But beneath those vibrant brushstrokes, swirling colours and breathtaking landscapes lies another story, a tragedy of heartbreak and pain, poverty and mental illness. It is a story of a genius, an artist and a pioneer whose significance would not be understood within his own lifetime. Oh, I cannot wait to read this. I don't think it has any pictures of his artwork. It is just about his life. I cannot wait. Oh my goodness, everyone. If you're interested in Vincent and or art, I think this may be the book. But let's see. We will read it. According to Luke, and he has read it, and is, of course, it is the book this month for the book club. This is a really amazing book, so I cannot wait. Okay, that's all of those from Sherlock Pages in Frome, Somerset. I recommend, if you cannot visit, definitely get online. As I say, here in Australia, the conversion they were much cheaper than I could get the average book here. I have never seen any of these books here in Australia. No doubt they will be hidden somewhere, but I just haven't seen them. And maybe not. Maybe some of them are not. But they just seem to be, for me, they were particular to Sherlock Pages. So I'm very excited. Oh, I'm very excited. I can't wait to read all of those. Oh, it's a shame I don't have a few of me to read them all at the one time. And I do recommend the Reverend Richard Cole's Murder Before Evensong. It was a great book, witty, but well written, really well written, and gave you detail without it being too boring. So yeah, no, I really, really enjoyed this. I recommend it. Okay, that is it for today. I hope that's inspired you, but if you haven't read them, perhaps to have a look online at Sherlock Pages. Now, Sherlock Pages have also agreed to be the distributor of one of the books in the Northern Hemisphere for our book club. For our book competition. We will organise to order and pay for a book at Sherlock Pages for the winner of our book competition in the Northern Hemisphere. So if they are any example, look, they have a whole range. As I say, I only looked at the first 180 books online. They have 1,000, so goodness knows what the others are. It's dangerous, really dangerous for me to keep looking. But if these are any indication of what they have, I think the winner in the Northern Hemisphere of our book competition will be really happy with their book. We will try, for those of you who are interested in the competition, we will try and organise your genre from Sherlock Pages. I know they have some classics. They sell classics and they sell children's books as well. But these are absolutely beautiful. Anyway, that is it for now. I shall leave you. I will see you Saturday for the next travel video. Rooney and Arthur have been very good today. They are asleep. I think that little warning that I gave them before I began the video may have worked. I don't know. But they do say never work with children and animals, don't they? Although I love my boys. I think they're wonderful. They can do no wrong. So that's it. I will see you either Saturday for the next travel video or next Monday for possibly another boxing if there are more books to arrive. Otherwise, there will be 3 book recommendations. Okay, have a lovely week. Please have a lovely week. Enjoy your reading, whether it's a page or a whole book, doesn't matter. And good eating, you know I encourage that. And good cooking, if you're cooking, good healthy food. And then enjoy the rest of your week. And I will see you whichever video that may be. Okay, take care. Bye for now.